We are going to be making a coil pot today. Now, when we make coils, we are going to be rolling them around. So I want to remove any jewelry that I don't want to get clay stuck in or to make indents on my clay. I'm going to just take a chunk of clay, not make it too big, and roll it into a long, skinny, snake-looking thing called a coil. I'm going to do that by rolling it back and forth on my table. I don't like to do it on my paper towel because it just gets kind of wrinkled and crinkled up. And I'm going to make it about the thickness of my finger. Once it's that size, I'm going to wrap it around in a spiral, starting in the middle, on top of my paper towel, but making sure I don't get my paper towel stuck in between the coil pieces. Yep, lift it up, good. And then I'm going to take another piece, and I want to make this spiral a little bit bigger, so I'm going to add it on. Once I have my base spiral the size I want it to, I need to smooth it together so it stays together. I'm doing that by taking my pointer finger, starting from the outside of my circle, and really pressing quite hard to smooth it in. I don't want to see any lines at all left when I'm done smoothing this thing. It's getting really bumpy. Once I've gotten rid of all the lines, then I smooth out all those bumps and make it look nice again. But I really want to press a little bit harder in the beginning to disturb those spiral lines so that I have a smooth base. And this is going to keep it from falling and breaking apart. Now that I have my base, I'm going to get my tools out and I'm going to roll some coils to build the walls of my coil pot. So I am doing the same technique where I'm rolling out a long skinny snake or a long skinny coil that is the thickness of my finger. And now I'm just going to wrap it around until I have either one coil or two coils that wrap all the way around in a circle around my base. Now, to make sure that this first layer really sticks, I'm going to do a method called score and slip. I have a couple different tools I can use. I can use my wooden tool, I can use some nails, you might even have a needle tool in yours. I'm going to use the nail because I like the nice sharp point that it has. Now the first step, scoring part, is also what I sometimes call scratching. I need to scratch my clay 2 different directions, not just one time, but 2. And I'm going to do this on both pieces of clay, so the ring of coils and my base piece. And this is going to allow them to stick together. If I have 2 smooth pieces, they're just going to slide right apart when this dries. But if I have 2 rough pieces, they will really hold tight. After I finish scratching this on, I add water, and that is the slip part. It makes basically the glue that is going to hold this piece together. So I've got it all scratched so it holds tight, and then the glue is gonna keep it together by sinking into those cracks. And after that is all done, then I can put these 2 pieces back together, slightly press down on them, and now be ready to make this piece taller. As you may have noticed, I'm not exactly lining it up so that each row is exactly ending at this spot before. I'm just kind of making long coils and like spiraling up, so it's not one circle then another circle. Now that I have about 3 rows, I'm going to start smoothing the inside, just the same way that I smoothed the bottom of my piece. You can see how I took some clay from the very top row and I just kind of squished it all the way down. It doesn't look pretty right now, but it will look pretty later. And I kind of have my left hand on the outside, or whatever your non-dominant hand is, and then I'm using my right hand's thumb to smooth the inside. I'm using my left hand so that I don't push the wall over. Whoops. And it kind of shows you how, yeah, it's smoother in there, and that's going to keep any liquid from sneaking out. If I want to be able to drink something or put some water in here for flowers, then I cannot have any of those cracks showing. So I'm holding it and smoothing it with my thumb. I don't want to see any pinching motion where you're squishing it with the same hand. I only am using my thumb on the inside, maybe sometimes my pointer finger if it's getting too tall, to kind of smooth it, but no squishing it and making it all thin. After I've gone all the way around, I just kind of smooth it with my thumb to make it look nice again and squish that extra clay around the edges. You will notice this process makes your piece shorter and a little bit skinnier. So that's why it's so important to make sure our coils are finger length thickness and not super skinny already. So now that I've smoothed that, I am going to be making sure my name is on the bottom first of all, if you haven't done that last time. Smiley face, or you should put your name and your class. And now I can just continue to add more coils. I don't have to scratch and attach these either. I'm just going to keep on going. The only time I would have to scratch and attach another coil on is if it's been like a whole week since I put a coil on and my clay is a little bit drier. Then you might want to scratch that first coil on again so it doesn't flake off. But I'm going to keep working on this until I've got all the coils I need and then smooth that inside again. Now I'm getting to the point where I'm thinking about adding some extra special details. I've got some walls, and so I can do some stuff to make it look kind of unique. I've rolled a few spheres, and I can make some like eyes, like it's like a mummy sticking out, just sticking them on there. If you want to make sure they're extra secure, I could scratch and add some slip to make them stay. Or, as you can see, what I'm doing is I'm just doing them the same way I did my coil, where I smooth the inside down. Because they're a part of my coil pot, I can do that process where I just smooth the inside and that helps it stick. If I want to add a handle, I am going to have to do scratching and attaching. Now you can do a handle with a thicker coil like this, and then scratch it onto a side like that. However, I really like to make my handles braided because, as you know, I love to braid. So I took 3 skinnier coils and I squished the bottom together, and then I made a braid. Now, if you don't know how to braid, you probably don't want to make a braided handle. This is not the easiest way to learn. There are plenty of other good ways to do handles. But if you do know how to braid, this can be a nice way to make a handle that is kind of strong and kind of cool looking, showing off one of those different skills that you can use in your pottery skills. I just chopped off the ends, kind of squished it together a little bit so that there weren't a bunch of holes. I curve it around and then I would scratch that on. Now, once again, I need to scratch both sides that are going to be attached in many ways to make it nice and rough. Once I have it all scratched up on the handle and on my coil pot, I can add water to make the slip and then stick it on. Now, these handles sometimes do not want to stay on because they just are kind of heavy, and my clay is plastic, and so it might fall off. So I might want to try to prop it up, maybe finding a tool at the table that if it's kind of feeling like it's flopping down. Now I feel like I want to make just one more extra detail on this. I could put a handle up high like that, and that'd be cool. I don't know if that's what my thing is calling for. I could scratch and attach that on anywhere. I think I'll make a bird. You know, you can make any kind of animal that you can make out of clay, and you can just attach it onto your piece if you wanted to do that. So I've made a little head, and I made a little body where I just pinched the other end. I'll make a beak, scratch those 2 pieces together, and just make him look kind of cute, and have him sit on the handle of it. Now, if you think you are all done, I would just take my finger and smooth out any parts that could be rough and make sure that name is on the bottom, and then we'll let this dry, and I will put it into the kiln as soon as it is bone dry.